Oh, yeah, folks, get ready to be happy because we are about to go on a ride through the glory days, old and new. This guy is a brother to me, family, and I love him, man. Plus, he's in a really good place, and we had a great time hanging out. So, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, Bam Margera. Yeah, man.
What up?
Ah, dude, I'm super psyched, man. So, first off, what do we got going on business wise? I understand there's a big merch drop this week. Is that right?
Yeah, Johnny from Element has been working on some new stuff, and we had the band merch going on in Estonia, but I never saw any money come in. So 5 years of that, I was just like, you know what? Um, so Johnny from Element just took over, so we'll see some results soon.
Good, man. Good.
Was all the merch coming from Estonia to people, or did you have a place here, or do you even know?
It was all coming from Estonia. I bought a 3D printing company, like a whole big 3D, to make rings and things like that. And because I was living there for about 2 years, and when I went home, I couldn't keep up with who was selling what, so I had to cancel that.
Yeah, dude. I remember seeing a number of comments on like social media, people saying, "Yo, I ordered this jewelry and it never showed up."
Probably, I have no idea.
That man,
10,000 miles away, that's what happens, I guess.
dude. And what's even worse, this kid that you had running that shit, he would flood your Instagram with promotion for it, but you wouldn't see it because he would post something to your feed, let it like run its course, and then he would delete it. So if you looked at all of your profile, it wouldn't look out of the usual, but everybody watching it come through the feed, they were just getting slammed over and over, and it was like, bam, with the fucking merch already, for God's sakes.
And he would ask everybody who, like, I have associated. If I had a picture with Post Malone, then he would blow up Post Malone's Instagram asking to do a merch Post Malone ring or something.
Acting like it's coming from you?
Yeah, and I didn't catch on until like he did it to everybody.
Dude, hey, I got hit up about that. I got hit
And he
up
said it was
about doing.
Bam, or did he say he was the guy?
He said, fucking, let's do a collab. That's right. Oh, and by the way, I always forget.
I knew it.
This is Scott Randolph. You guys know each other, but I always forget to introduce him. He's my co-host over here. So how are people buying this new legit and official merch?
I think it's all going through Element now,
Okay.
which is good. It's called Heart Supply. It's like a side thing from Element.
Does Johnny Schillerup is the guy who's founded Element? Didn't they sell the company to like Quicksilver?
Billabong.
Billabong.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a skateboard company for which you were a professional skateboarder before Jackass ever even came out. And when Jackass did come out, holy shit, did you sell some shit for Element?
Definitely. I was selling more than Tony Hawk at one point.
Dude, unbelievable. I got to ask you.
For 2 years straight, I think it was over 20,000 skateboards a month.
Dude, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And so now when the first season of Jackass, when we did that, I think it's interesting because people believe that we were all just like bros forever, when in fact we were not even all in the same place until the show was already a hit and we were filming the second season.
I know, totally. I think the whole first season we haven't even met yet.
Right. 100%.
And the first time you guys met each other was on the diving board?
It was in Orlando there. The first time we ever met was like at a hotel there. And I think that the first day I met you, we're at this hotel in Orlando, which we filmed at fucking, from the TV show, the first movie, the second movie, and always the same hotel, and they let us do whatever the fuck we want. But
it became Hotel Jackass pretty much. We ruled this hotel. Wee Man would walk around naked, interrupting conferences, and they wouldn't even. They just let us do whatever we wanted.
Oh, 100%. We had to cut a big hole in the wall to do the boxing glove comes through.
Yeah.
That boxing, that was supposed to be Mike Tyson on the other side of the wall, but they couldn't end up getting him, so they just did it with like a robotic arm. But dude, it was in that same hotel. Oh my God, do I have a fucking crazy story from that hotel too. But I think it was like as soon as you checked in, you guys went into the little fucking fitness gym and started turning on the treadmill and fucking destroying that treadmill.
Oh, yeah. We were doing like skate tricks on the treadmill, and then we put a bike on it.
Yeah.
And we used it until it got destroyed.
and that wasn't planned or anything, right? That was just your first time?
No. That was spur of the moment.
That was your crew doing that, like you and Dunn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were you guys like, fuck, these guys are already filming and killing it? Like,
oh my God, I was so jealous of Bam, like all the time. And I was just like, fuck, dude, that's something I just never would have thought of, you know?
So they just came out right out the bat, just filming shit like,
Yeah.
fuck it, we came here to show up.
So, dude, I mean, the first season of Jackass is totally a hit, right? I still haven't met Bam, but we're on TV. We're like fucking famous and shit. And I had not seen his video CKY2K, which is just like this. How many copies did you sell of that?
Over 1 million.
Oh my God, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. And meanwhile, the whole time leading up to this, all I can think about is how can I get into like a legitimate skate video, which is like, then there's Bam, who is like, how can I make my own entire skate video and set up my own distribution and sell a fucking million copies of it? Bam was so far ahead of me. And so I'm like, this one day I'm at my buddy's house, and we're all tripping on liquid acid. We like dropped drops of liquid acid into our mouths, tripping our fucking faces off. This dude's in his bedroom. He's got a chick, and they're filming a porno. He's just banging this chick, and I'm sitting in his living room, tripping my face off, watching CKY2K, and I'm just becoming so jealous of Bam. And finally, I'm just like, I saw Bam jump off this 6th floor balcony of a hotel, and I'm just like, I'm like, fuck. I'm banging on the guy's door. I'm like, dude, your porno's over. We're fucking, come on, we're going. And I was just so jealous of Bam, and I went and got my stilts. We went to this bridge, and I'm walking on stilts, tripping on acid, and I throw myself over the railing of the bridge, which was 100% inspired by you.
Awesome.
What video was that
Did you
on?
get hurt on that?
I didn't get hurt, but boy, that was like knee surgery just waiting to happen. And I have to say this too. I saw a comment from somebody. They said, dude, I love you, Steve-O. Your podcast is great. You got all these great guests. But dude, with the fucking talking about yourself all the time, I mean, ask the guest a question, let them talk. He says, it's like every week it's the guest is fucking Steve-O. And I'm like, you got me. So yeah, let me ask you some questions. I got paid per bit, not per episode, for the first season of Jackass. And I had a pay scale that was set up if it was a fucking gnarly stunt that you could get really fucking hurt. I got $500 per bit. And if it was like not something that you could get hurt, it was like a prank or some just goofy thing that you did in the street, then I got $200. So all told, after taxes, the entire first season of Jackass, I made less than $1,500. And
damn,
I'm dying to know what your pay scale was. You gotta love Bam. You ask the guy a question and he tells you the answer, even if it gets him in trouble. And I'm going to tell you something right now that might get me in trouble, because this episode of Wild Ride with Steve-O is sponsored by my favorite company that I have been introduced to since I started doing this. And I know that a lot of the other sponsors probably don't want me to say that, but it's true. This product is called Hello Tushy. And the reason it sounds a little bit echoey is because I'm in the upstairs bathroom at my house where it is set up. Hello Tushy is a bidet. That means it sprays water onto your asshole. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how it works. Like, normally my asshole is in the line of fire, but okay, well, yeah, that's how it works. Now, I have this crazy relationship with my asshole, right? Like, I'm used to wiping and wiping and wiping, like paranoid, and like I'm like, why am I still seeing people say I wipe, and I still think after I get done wiping that I'm gonna have to wipe again. Sometimes I actually do, but now that I use Hello Tushy, this bidet, like, it blasts my asshole. The only reason I even use toilet paper at all afterwards is for the satisfaction of seeing that there is zero poo on it at all. Man. Plus, it helps you with your health. You're not gonna have hemorrhoids. You're not gonna have like crazy like infections. What else? Incredibly good for the environment instead of going through all this toilet paper. I mean, dude, this is my favorite product. And if you go to hellotushy.com/Stevo, you can get 10% off your order. And I'm telling you, you are gonna thank me for it. It is almost too good to be true. You know why it's not? Because it is true. So go ahead and get yourself a Hello Tushy bidet at hellotushy.com/Stevo and get 10% off your order.
That made 15 million.
I can't remember. I think it was something like $4,000 an episode, but I could be wrong.
I suspect you had like 5. I don't know where I got that idea. Like five.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, maybe.
They acquired a bunch of footage from you as well, Bam, right?
Yeah, they took the whole first CKY video and just mixed it in with the Big Brother stuff that they were doing.
Right. Let me introduce
And that was
my
Paul.
man.
I'm not a ventriloquist.
Yeah, that was Paul Brisky. He's a gorgeous guy. He's off camera right now.
He's got a huge dick.
We call him Young Cunt, and he's my editor.
What's up, dude?
So let me, okay, like, let me ask some other questions, get some information out of the guest for once. What the fuck happened to your website, dude? I remember your website was Bam Margera with only one M, and I wanted to prepare for this conversation, so I just logged onto your website, and it's some fucking asshole selling scooters.
In Estonia.
Oh, really? I haven't been on it in years.
I think the street team needs to get on
The
it.
street. Yeah,
Hey, I got a
dude.
question. So you sold 1 million copies of CKY, right?
CKY2K.
Yeah.
which was number
CKY2K.
2.
Was that before Jackass, or like how was that hustle like selling
It
it out
was
of your
like
car?
as it was happening.
Yeah.
But beforehand,
and
were you selling
I
out
never
of your
put an ad
trunk?
out for it or anything, so it was just pure profit.
Yeah, it was. The distribution was through just mom and pop skate shops, but it was with an actual distributor, right? What was it, Tomieto?
In the beginning, and then I went to VAS distribution, which was also with Element and 411.
Yeah. Oh my God.
How many
dude.
copies did you sell before Jackass hit? Do you remember?
With CKY1, close to 1 million.
Damn.
Yeah.
Right, and there was like a shady business deal on that one. He was trying to like help out this fucking wheel company called Landspeed, and then they fucking took all the money and never paid him. Man, it seems like there's been more than a couple of people who have taken advantage of you, and I don't like it.
Oh, dude, 90 grand on that one. And they said that there was no money because I never thought I would get a lawyer, and I did because I was like 17 years old. They're like, he's not going to get a lawyer, so I got one. And turns out that they made 90 grand and never paid anything.
Wow, that seems light.
Yeah.
90 grand seems like not enough. But dude, so, I mean, Bam didn't give a fuck about 90 grand. He was killing it so much. And if it was $5,000 per episode on Jackass, that was bullshit compared to all. See, that's the thing. He had revenue streams in place when Jackass kicked. He had the skateboards, the fucking shoes, and then the Tony Hawk video game. Like
How old
everything.
were you when Jackass popped off?
20.
About 18, I think.
You were 20 because I'm 6 years older.
Okay, yeah. So 20.
Yeah, and it's so like we're all going to bars and Bam's not legal age to drink. Like it's so crazy. And then consider that he was already, at least in skateboarding, a full fucking star from like the age of like 13. Like how old were you when you first got sponsored?
13 with Fairman Skate Shop, just the local skate shop around town. And then when I was 16, that's when I got sponsored by 8th Street, which became Evol, which is love backwards, EVOL.
Dude, so 8th Street, man. God, when did Plan B come around?
They came around right when 8th Street turned to Evol. But yeah, they came out with a huge video, Questionable. That was like the best video.
For sure. Dude, so this is how totally intense Bam is. When Jackass was just a TV show, and meanwhile, like, dude, I was a fucking cocaine addict, I was fucking broke, I'm fucking homeless, I got nothing, and Bam's over at the Audi dealership, fucking can't figure out which of 2 cars he likes best, so he buys both of them. That's true story. You bought 2 Audis at once?
Yeah, not at once, but close together.
Dude,
I really wanted the S4, but I bought the A4 when I could afford it, and then instantly I got more money, so then I went and bought the S4 in Nagaro blue.
Dude, thank God.
Was that season 1 money?
That was like Element money and 401 money, mostly CKY videos and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, when you say season 1 money, season 1 of Jackass was just the engine that drove the whole machine, which was just, like, Jackass was the rocket ship on his pre-existing revenue stream.
Yeah, well, I was getting at because he bought that off season 1 money and you just made $1,500 or something.
Oh, dude, I was homeless, I was unemployed, I was fucking broke. It was, and then I fucking drove cross country. So now I don't have a place to live, so I'm just hanging out in the fucking TV offices that they had for Jackass.
In LA?
In LA, yeah. And it's just like this TV offices, and I'm just like fucking picking my ass, hanging out, writing down a list of. Never mind. and Bam comes into town, and he's like, dude, fuck, how am I going to put together $2.5 million to fucking fund my own movie to make Haggard, right? Does that sound right? And I was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what, 2.5 what million? and dude, he did it, man. How much copies of Haggard did you sell?
It definitely was worth doing, but it wasn't like the CKY videos. I guess people want to see like raw stunts and things like that. As soon as you turn it into a movie where you're rehearsing lines and things like that, skateboarders don't dig that too much, but it has a cult following.
Right. I guess that's kind of like saying Action Point wasn't like the hit that Jackass was.
What was your first impression of Steve when you met him?
I was honestly uncomfortable with Scott asking that question because I was terrified of what Bam's answer was going to be. But you know what's not uncomfortable? Everything going on in my jeans. You know why? Because Mack Weldon makes their own fabric, and they are the one-stop shop for all your men's basics. Underwear, socks, shirts, hoodies, even raincoats. Telling you, man, I had the best experience at MackWeldon.com, putting together my order, getting the comfiest premium men's products, all of my underwear and socks and everything, and I am just thrilled to let you know that if you go to MackWeldon.com and use the promo code STEVO, you will get 20% off your first order. Again, that's 20% off your first order when you go to MackWeldon.com and use the promo code STEVO. You're going to thank me. I mean, got to take care of yourself, guys. Live in comfort. Mack Weldon. Yeah, dude.
Was that the first time in the hotel room? Did you know about him before?
Yeah, I just thought he was gnarly because every time there was never a dull moment. You know what I mean? Like there was always something going on. There was always a camera in front of our faces all the time. So we were just at it nonstop, you know, filming.
Dude, I was so fucking impressed with Bam, dude. And like one of the first things we did, it was in Orlando that we met, and this was like for this this epic, you know, first time we all got together. They built the loop. You know, like one of the first days, fucking Bam's doing the loop with Tony Hawk, right? You pulled the loop in like on Jackass.
I didn't do it on Jackass. That was the first time I tried it, and I came pretty close, but I ate shit, so I stopped trying it. And then a year later, I tried it again at Bob Burnquist's house, and I was so close to doing it until I pulled a Brian Schaefer and you know, did a 360, slammed right on my head. I got the wind knocked out of me, so I waited another year. And in Phoenix, Arizona, is where they had the Tony Hawk Boom Boom Huck Jam, and I tried it there, and I did it first try.
Dude,
Wow.
this is so crazy, man. Now, like from the very beginning of Jackass, with all of the like insane success and all like the selling of skateboards, like you were known so much for the heartogram. And I was listening to your 9 Club podcast, and they asked, did you have a business agreement with the band Him to like use the heartogram? And you said that there was some kind of agreement, but then they sold it to Warner Brothers. Like, what's the business behind the heartogram?
That was another thing that Element sorted out. They started making Bam heartogram boards, and I guess they figured out a deal with them. But once they got bought by Warner Brothers for $4 million, then it became a whole new thing. Like they would get pissed that I had a heartogram on my front door of my house during Viva La Bam. Like, they're like, people are starting to think that the heartogram's yours. I'm like, dude, I'm just promoting my favorite band. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? That's all I'm doing. I'm putting their symbol out everywhere. Hopefully people will catch on that this is a band that I like from Finland.
For sure.
You know?
And for just so that people are aware of what we're talking about, the band was called Him, and the band's symbol was the heartogram. And you say the Warner Brothers bought the band, where the Warner Brothers, they signed with Warner Brothers, and so Warner Brothers owned their catalog or something?
Yeah, I guess so.
And
they were strict about everything too.
And dude, you were pretty fucking over the top when it came to being a fan of Him. I mean, for them to complain about you is pretty
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's the only reason I know of the band Him is probably through you.
Totally.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Yeah, 100%.
And whatever happened, the singer of Him, Villa Vallo, this just like iconic guy, man, like true rock star dude. But I haven't heard anything about what's up with them in a long time. Is Him still together?
I don't know what happened, but no, they broke up. I guess they were making their 7th album, and it started to sound just like all the other albums, and they just decided to shut the lock and throw away the key, and now everybody's doing their own thing. I know that half the band, Gas and Lindy, the guitar player, started a new band called Flat Earth, and I think Bill is just doing his solo stuff.
That's cool. Now, since we're on the topic of music, dude, I am such a fan. I've told you this again and again. You made this album that is so fucking good. Like, you've had a bunch of different music projects, right? Like, what was your first one? Was it Narkill?
Narkill, yeah. And then we did Fuckface Unstoppable, and then we did Eavesdroppers.
Yeah, Eavesdroppers.
Yeah, that's the one
Unbelievable.
you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Eavesdroppers is a fucking unbelievable album, and like I've texted you this, I've told you this over and over, and I just don't understand how this album hasn't gotten the recognition that it deserves. Like, I mean, Bam sings on it. This is the album that
in Europe.
Yeah,
and I remember I came up on the top and I was like, "Damn, this is sick. Who is this?" And you're like, "This is Bam's band."
It's
I was like,
Bam.
"This is Bam," and you're like, "Yeah, he's singing." I'm like, "He's singing that?" Like,
dude, completely. And what, like, I mean, walk us through it, dude. You put together like a crazy all-star cast of musicians, and it was just like a fucking dream team of like, and it was an expensive ass album to make, right?
It was, yeah, probably $50,000 I spent on that, and you know, I didn't even put it out on iTunes, I don't think.
Dude,
So,
dude, please, for God's sakes, and I know that this episode that we're recording right now is going to be wildly popular because it's fucking Bam Margera and people love us together. Everybody listening, please tell them how to get a copy of this Eavesdroppers album because it is so good.
awesome.
How do you get it?
My brother sells it. I guess it's on. You know what? I don't know.
Meet up with Bam's brother at the 7-Eleven, the Wawa. I mean, for God's sakes, dude, there's got to be a way, man. And we'll get this up this week, man. Like, I'm afraid with everything going on in the world, man. I'm afraid to like record a podcast like too far in advance because who knows, the world might explode.
Well, it's interesting, Bam. You're a man of many hidden talents, and what surprised me the most when we went camping was that I learned that you have a kind of like a secret talent for knowing all the world capitals. Do people know that about you?
I guess some people.
What's the capital of Somalia?
Somalia is Mogadishu.
Dude, Ethiopia.
Addis Ababa.
Throw out a country.
Indonesia.
Indonesia, Jakarta.
Pa, think of a country.
Canada.
Canada, Ottawa.
Okay.
Is that right?
It's got to be right.
It's got to be. It's so great.
One more. What do we got? Estonia.
Estonia, Tallinn.
Dude, wow.
That's
when
incredible.
did you learn all that?
I realized that I only had to learn like 20 more to say I officially know all the capitals. So I just wrote it on a shoebox in my car, and I kept looking at it when I was driving. And it's kind of like, you know, with other people songs, you know, like Sweet Child of Mine. Oh, Guns N' Roses. You know, like that's how I know when you say, you know, Finland. Oh, Finland, Helsinki. You know, it's like Enter Sandman. Oh, Metallica. You know, that's how easy it is for me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great, man. I'm glad that you brought that up, dude. I didn't know you had that up your sleeve.
Yeah, well, I didn't either, but I remember I kept like throwing them at him the whole weekend, and he never missed one.
It's so great, man. How many countries have you been to? Do you know?
I've been to everyone pretty much. I've never been to Africa yet, but and I maybe like all the stands. Like I've never been to Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan,
Kurdistan.
But other than that, you've been to every other one?
What's that?
What do you know how many countries you've been to? Because there's like 190 of them.
I would say probably half. I've been to a lot of countries.
That's fucking incredible. Weren't you just in Mongolia?
No, never been to Mongolia.
What's the capital of Mongolia?
Ulaanbaatar.
Fucking A, dude.
Dude. So, man, I can't get over the fact that we don't have distribution for this fucking album. Like this is a habit that I have, and it's something that I don't do enough. I really wish I did, but I'll just decide on an album, commit to it, and I listen to it over and over and over, so that for the rest of my life, whenever I hear it again, it'll take me back to that time when I was listening to it. And when I hear your fucking album, the Eavesdroppers album, like it takes me to touring through Europe on Justin Bieber's tour bus with Scott Randolph, dude, and it was such a great time.
Yeah.
It was such a great time.
You're on Bieber's tour bus?
He was the last guy to like fucking rent the tour bus for a tour before us.
Oh, okay.
So, like, yeah, I mean, whatever. Now, it's like, speaking of like big celebrities, we see you with Post Malone all the time. You were talking to the 9 Club people, and just Bam casually mentions like, so I texted Lil Wayne. Like, that's it. Which makes sense because Lil Wayne's like super into skateboarding.
Yeah. He's an East Coast guy too, right? Lil Wayne?
Yeah, he's from New Orleans, but he lives in Miami now. He has like a half pipe on his like penthouse suite in Miami.
Wow.
Dude, he just put out like a music project, Lil Wayne, and like it was just a vehicle for him to put his skateboarding footage into it. Did you see that? It's like,
I did see it.
And he's going for it, man.
Is it safe to say that you're the best skater out of all the Jackass guys?
Oh, yeah.
Handedly?
He's the only one that was pro.
Oh, really?
For sure.
Who was the second best?
Yeah.
Second best, I don't know.
Wee Man or Steve?
No. Probably Wee Man, but it's like pretty close between Dave England and Chris Pontius.
Wow.
Oh, for second best?
Skateboarding's a subjective thing. You know, you can't really. It's apples and oranges. But Chris had the fucking south flip on mini ramps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, being 40 and you just lose your tricks, man. Like I had a bag of tricks and now I only have like a bag of 10 if I'm lucky.
Dude, I've been skating again. I've been fucking skating hard, and I know exactly what you mean, dude. It's.
Dude, I know. Like my balance is off, and it's just crazy.
Like it's a cliche question, but like, what kind of do you have like aches and pains and shit from like certain things?
Yeah, from all the injuries, like from just skating and Jackass, they all kicked in at 40.
Yeah.
I got a twisted ankle right now. I can barely walk.
Ah, dude. And see, like, but there's no like one like chronic bit like where you're like, fuck, it's my back, or like, oh, like I just fucked up my thumb.
It was my hamstring.
Yeah.
I was out for a year from that.
Right.
Yeah, it sucks.
From a bit or from just a trick or a skating? Or
just from skating in my barn. I pulled a hamstring and it took a year to heal.
Damn.
Do you have no gray hair yet?
I got some in the beard.
Dude, I'm sporting it, man. I'm like, this is my Corona afro, and I'm just letting it ride, dude. I remember thinking like 5 years ago, I was thinking about getting into dyeing my hair. I was like, really? Should I do it, man? Should I do it? Should I get fucking like Just for Men and dye it? So glad I didn't, dude. I'm just rocking it.
That's so funny.
We're getting
dude.
old, bro, and it's all good,
Yeah,
man.
no.
Let's get old as hell.
I remember I remember the first time, like the first year I started working with Steve. He like came out of his bedroom or something with like a childhood picture. He was like 8. And then he was like, okay, look at this. And he's like, do you see a difference in the hairline? And he made me point out if there was any receding hair. I'm like, no, dude. He's like, okay, good.
I was 15.
He remembers, too.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Now, when we're like, let's give the people some Jackass shit, man. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of. I remember a time when you had your purple Lamborghini, and we were filming Jackass #2, and they thought it'd be real funny if they what did they put in it, like a fucking life raft that self-inflates?
One of those instant blow-up life rafts they decided to put in the Lamborghini. And, dude, you could barely fit like a fucking Mountain Dew in there. You know what I mean? Like, so when that thing blew up, it cracked the windshield, it cracked the side. Like, it did some substantial damage to it. Like, and they rented me a Bentley until it got fixed for that.
Dude, if you fucking put a scratch in the paint of a Lamborghini, that's like gonna be 30 grand to fucking get it touched up or some shit, right?
It's crazy. Like, I left the gas cap at a gas station by accident, and I'm like, all right, shit, that sucks. Whatever, I'll get another one. Was it $50? Nope, it's $1,000 for a little hunk of metal.
A gas cap, dude. And I remember hearing that, like Lamborghini, it by definition is a sports car, which means it's stick shift. But is it true that you had them like customize your Lamborghini to make it automatic because you didn't want to deal with stick shift?
No, it came with e-gear, which you shift on the paddles of the steering wheel, but there is no clutch.
Okay.
Was there any stunts that Bam did where you're like, fuck, I'm jealous of that, like on a Jackass movie?
Oh, well, dude.
Anything that stands out, though?
I mean, my main thing that I was jealous of Bam was that he did it all. He kept skating, and for me, like I grew up a skater, but I was just like, man, I'm not that good at skating. I want to be in skateboard videos, but I'm just gonna not skate, and I'm gonna do the fucked up crazy shit that they pack into skateboard, because even skateboarders would get bored of watching like an hour of skateboarding, you know, like they always had to break it up by putting crazy shit in there, and that was what Bam and I specialized in. But Bam skated too, and I just wish I would have never quit. You know.
Yeah, I feel the same way. When I was filming Viva La Bam, you know, I used to skate 5 hours a day, and then when Viva La Bam happened, you know, there's 40 people on payroll, so you can't spend the whole day skateboarding or else you won't get your footage, for an episode. So my 5 hours of skating every day slowly turned into 2 to 1 to 30 to none.
Yeah.
Bam, do you have a favorite Viva La Bam episode that you did?
Probably the Civil War, when we had 200 Civil War reenactment people come to the house and battle it out. It was just fun because, they were camping outside and it felt like it was the, 1800s or whatever it was.
Cool.
Like, yeah, it was rad. Or turning the house into a skate park.
Do they still play Viva La Bam? I think they still play Jackass episodes everywhere. Do you get residual
I think
checks?
they stopped doing Viva La Bam maybe a couple years ago.
Did you ever get ongoing residual checks for Jackass the TV show or Viva La Bam or anything?
I think for the movies of Jackass.
Oh yeah, for the movies, yeah. Yeah, the movies, it's crazy, man. Dude, the fucking, I saw AMC theaters is on the verge of bankruptcy. They're gonna fucking, what if there's no movie theaters?
Well, I think Amazon's gonna buy them all out.
Ah, fuck.
How crazy would that be?
Oh, really?
Crazy.
I mean, it's a crazy time, man. I've been a little bit candid on this fucking podcast deal about how we were 1 week into filming Jackass 4 and then boom, they just shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard anything?
Yeah, we've been on hiatus for how long? 2.5 months or something?
Right, so we have.
Wow.
Now, I was with our sound guy, Cordell, this morning surfing, and he said they were talking about firing it back up in late August. And I'm like, dude, so we'll be fucking 1 week into filming again, and then the second wave of the fucking coronavirus is going to shut us down.
In the fall.
1 week at a time, you're going to get this movie done.
1 week at a time.
That's what they're saying in the middle of August?
I heard. That's what Cordell told me this morning. I don't fucking know.
Damn.
But, yeah.
Steve, I remember you had a video of you guys were all partying at your house and you were pulling Bam's pants off or something like that.
Oh,
Or drinking.
yeah.
Do you remember partying at Steve's old apartment? I wasn't there for that, but was that just a wild fucking time? Or
there was footage of that there was some night in Knoxville. He had a doorbell thing that was there's set up to explode in your face, and he wanted me to dress up as a clown. I'm in clown makeup, and then we end up back at my apartment. Bam's all drunk.
what year was this?
2006. And remember, I stripped you naked while you were passed out drunk, and I'm like, no, Bam. You were ah. And I never showed that anywhere.
You never showed that? How come I saw it? You just had it loading from back.
It was in that paparazzi stuntman video that I never put out. I put out bits of it on YouTube.
Do you remember partying at Steve's old apartment?
Yeah.
Dude, so do you have a YouTube channel? I think this is important. This is important because I have this YouTube operation. Again, the guy up front, Paul, we call him Young Cunt. He's my editor. And I've got thousands of videotapes, all these hard drives. Remember you were at the house, you saw all these orange hard drives?
Yeah.
And what I do is I come up with okay, what's a video that would be a cool story to tell, and it's like the tattoos I regret the most, and then we film it, we put it together, and there was the one I showed you when you came over, dude. This one got taken off of YouTube, and they got me in trouble with YouTube. It was the best wake up pranks of Jackass and Wild Boys.
Okay.
And because it involved smacking people who were asleep, doing mean shit to wake people up while they're sleeping, by definition, because they're asleep, they're not a willing participant. So it's without consent, assaulting somebody who's not okay with it. And even though we could show all that shit on MTV, I put it on YouTube and I got in trouble. But it's just an example. And I know you have so much footage for your whole life since you were fucking 8 probably.
Yeah.
Just to imagine the kind of stories, the videos that you could tell. I mean, dude, I did 26 straight weeks. Every week.
Yeah.
Every week I put up a new video. And I didn't even really have to do anything. It was just let me fucking put together some old footage in a way that tells a new story. And dude, I think you could do so well with that. You could just do so well with that. There's so much like.
So much footage though that it's overwhelming.
Right, but that's why if you just take a bite-sized chunk, you know, you're like...
Inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, dude. I just think, see, and you've been talking a lot about this, like this documentary, this new Bam movie, and I know that like it was driving you crazy, like trying to get it right and working on it and working on it. Like, what's the status of that one?
I just had to let it go. I was working on it way too hard, and I kept changing it. It should have been something that was like an 8-episode thing, and I kept trying to squeeze all this footage into 2 hours, and I just slowly just destroyed it. You know, I just kept changing it and changing it and changing it.
I remember. You showing me a draft of it, like the night where we lit my balls on fire. Like with my jeans, we fucking sprayed it. We lit my crotch on fire, and then you put it out, kicking me in the nuts, which was just great. And I remember that was the night where you showed it to me, and it was great to tell the story. But like it just ended up where it was like, yeah, and then now like my fucking feet are fractured, or that, and I can't, you know. Like it needed some like it needed like a triumphant like happy ending was what I felt that it was missing. And thank God we're fucking ready to just, you know, get the band back together, do our thing, you know. It's pretty.
Yeah, I know.
And dude, I gotta say, I'm stoked that I didn't get to see too much. Like it was 1 week that we were filming, and of course we can't give away anything that happened. But I can assure everybody that Bam showed up, fucking ready to work. You know, I was super stoked when we did that one thing. You know, like that one violent, fucked up, disturbing thing. Bam, I remember like you were a little nervous about it, but zero hesitation for any of us, and we just marched right into the fucking worst situation. Oh my God, dude, I'm just stoked, dude.
What's a day during the pandemic look like for you? Are you keeping busy? I see you're working out with Novak and.
Oh yeah. I work out with Novak and a trainer every other day, and I got a twisted ankle now, but I would skate the barn as much as I could. And other than that, just going bike riding trails. I got trails all in the backyard, like that go to the next town over. So it's all good. Just trying to exercise as much as possible.
Are you enjoying the pandemic, or you kind of want to get back to work?
No, I can't wait for it to end. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Have you been like taking it seriously? Like you go out and you're wearing your mask and you're being careful to stay away from people and shit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to, but once you get to the skate barn, there's 20 people in there, then, you know, it kind of all goes away. Then you go back to Westchester and it's like back to reality with the mask again everywhere.
Right. I saw you were doing the protesting too. Like was it thousands of people all jammed in like in the streets?
Yeah, there was a lot of people for the Black Lives Matter thing.
Yeah, that's good, man.
I'm sure you're pretty recognizable even with the mask on.
It's weird. At the grocery store I am, but nobody really recognized me on the march, which was good.
Yeah, what did you have there, Paul?
Well, I was just saying, I've been meaning to ask you this, but this goes for both of you, being sort of like, fuck it, badass, like, we're not scared of shit guys your whole lives. Now it's this, everyone's asking you to wear a mask, to be careful, to wash your hands, and it's like, you know, does it go against all your nature to, like, put that mask on and sort of, like, be careful?
I can answer that real easy.
Yeah, go ahead.
If it was just us, we wouldn't give a fuck. But we've always been really careful not to bring innocent bystanders, third-party people into our shit. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, you don't want to do a stunt and fucking land on, like, the innocent guy walking by on the street. So by that same measure, you wouldn't want to catch the virus and then pass it on to some fucking, like, innocent elderly person, you know? Mm-hmm. So out of respect for other people, we try not to fucking pass that shit around.
Cool. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was laughing earlier because when I said, you know, are you recognizable with the mask? And then I remember Steve and I went to a Comic-Con or some bullshit. And Steve was like, yo, dude, like, he's like, I want to go as a stormtrooper so people don't recognize me, so I don't have to take all these fucking pictures. It was like a YouTube convention. And we get there, and fucking everybody wanted to take a picture with the stormtrooper. Like, he probably took like 200 photos as a stormtrooper. Like, oh, dude, it's a stormtrooper.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
fired big time.
Yeah, that shit was
hilarious.
fucking bullshit. When's the last time you went to like a skateboard convention or anything like that?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, dude. What
And I guess, dude, all the festivals of like the summer of music festivals, they're all shut down because of Corona. Like, dude, there's so much money being fucking
Oh, dude.
messed up. You know, like
Motley Crue's stadium tour was sold out.
Wow.
Like they had stadiums sold out. And,
50,000
like,
plus.
yeah, Motley Crue with Poison and Joan Jett and fucking Def Leppard. Jesus.
yeah.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Hopefully we
Damn.
get it all back on track, though, man. What's it like being a dad, dude?
It's cool. He's 2.5 now, starting to say sentences, which is cool. Where's he at? Bring him over.
When did it hit you? Like, oh, fuck, I'm a dad, dude.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was totally planned in Barcelona. It was weird. The only time, there he is.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, little buddy. It's a good-looking kid, man.
Can you say something? Can you say?
Say hi.
Can you say shit fuck?
Hi.
What's your favorite bad word?
Bam, are you worried he's going to grow up and watch CKY and start coming in while you're trying to take a shit and messing with you and stuff like you were always doing to Phil?
No, I know. I'm waiting for that day.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be mad at it when it happens, but it's probably going to happen for sure.
Yeah, as long as he's getting good footage, I guess.
Yeah, dude. So, do you have any more like music projects, dude? Like more like another fucking Eavesdroppers album? Dude, I'm telling you, man. Like, get that shit out there, man. Like, you know, like if you put 50 grand into it, it seems to me like a mellow investment. I think that album is worth so much, dude. I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
And I remember
I have about 7 songs that never made it to that album, so.
Yeah.
I already have 7 songs to go or done.
I mean, dude, I'll tell you what. Let's but like when we wrap this up here, let's get on a group text with your brother Jess and figure out like, hey, how do we fucking get this? You know, like.
Do you have a right-hand man where you just throw shit at and he fucking handles for you?
I used to, but he moved to Richmond, Virginia, so that ended.
Dude, I know that you were doing like comedy clubs and stuff like that. Is that something that like you're gonna like when the pandemic's over? Like, are you interested in getting back out on tour and actually putting together like a legit act?
I don't know. It was fun. It was just like basically a Q&A
Right.
with the fans. They would, you know, and it was like a sit down event. You know, it was fun, but I don't know if I'm going to continue that.
I'm
Not
dying to
sure.
know, is it a Jackass thing or is it just a Steve-O thing, or do you get the same question? Do people always ask you what stunt hurt the most, or do you get different sets of questions?
No, that's a question that everybody asks. I think what hurt the most was probably I was filming Cribs with the Bloodhound Gang, and I was in a music video driving this banana car, and I drove the banana car into this moat, and when it was sinking, I did a gainer into the moat because they said it was 7 feet deep. It was only 2 feet deep with sharp rocks, and I split my head open with 16 staples. So, and I was like in and out of consciousness on the way to the hospital. That was probably one of the worst.
That's fucked up.
That was for Cribs?
Yeah, Cribs.
That was for Cribs?
Dude, and MTV showed Bam's dick like in such graphic detail on an x-ray. That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
that hurt too, the bucket car.
So you guys have all seen each other naked, all the Jackass dudes.
Yeah.
Who's got the biggest dong out of all you guys?
Pontius, I think, right? Pontius has the biggest dick.
Yeah.
He's got the hammer.
Yeah, he's got the Warhammer. But I think we're fucking good. Bam's trying to smoke a cigarette. Like, we could always fucking fire this up again. But, dude, thank you so much, man. It's so funny, too, because, like, I was like, you know, I wanted to really make this happen. And I wanted to make sure that so I didn't even fucking, like, message Bam about it. I messaged Nikki. I'm like, hey, we got to get Bam on this. Fucking, was that smart? Was that the best way to get it done?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, like you're like you don't really pay attention to your text messages and shit that much, huh?
Not too much.
Yeah. Well, hey, dude, I gotta tell you, man, I love you, brother, and I'm like really glad to see you, like, just like, you know, looking good, and you know, like, I feel like you're in a really good place, man, and I'm just stoked about it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I really am stoked about it, and I just can't wait for us to fucking get back to work, man.
I know, me too.
I got one of these shirts for you. This guy made this fucking killer Ryan Dunn shirt. And,
rad.
It's not anything he sells, I don't think, but he fucking sent me a whole box of them for everybody in the cast.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, hey, do you got any plans to come to LA, or just we're all locked down?
Just on lockdown until they want me to.
Right. Cool, man. Well, hey, I look forward to fucking getting it back together, dude. And if Nikki's right there, like, please let me tell her, thank you, Nikki, for letting me badger you and bother you to make sure that this happened, dude. Totally worth it, and I'm super stoked.
Awesome.
Yeah, right on, Bam.
Hey, Bam, before we go, what's the capital of Uruguay?
Uruguay is Montevideo.
And it is right.
Right on, brother.
See ya.
So happy to see Bam in such a good place. I really mean that, because it's no secret that I've been kind of worried about him in recent times, and today I'm not worried about him at all. And you know what else I'm happy about is talking to you guys when you have hung in there until the end of the episode. It's a big deal for me. And what I like to do is to ask you folks to screenshot the podcast on whatever you're listening to it on. If it's your phone, your computer, whatever, post that screenshot and tag me. Tag Bam too. Let him know that you listened to the episode. Let him know that you're rooting for him. Let him know that you're happy to see him happy, because that'll mean a lot to me. And when I say tag me, tag Bam, don't just put our handles in the caption, because we won't see that. And when I see these posts, every time I throw a like on that shit. Most of the time I even throw a comment. And yeah, man, it's just like important to me that I do that, and that I thank you guys for listening, because I really do appreciate it. And I'm just gonna throw this out there. I don't know, for the people on YouTube, I think that fucking algorithm's mad at us or something. Something's going on, man, because they're not suggesting our videos as much. So always make sure you watch to the end. Throw the like, the comment, whatever, man. Let's get that algorithm rooting for us. All right, enough out of me. Thanks, guys. I love you.